Hello everyone, welcome to my guide for Elvui Raidframes. I'm going to talk you through some detailed stuff, how to set up your personal raid buffs and uh, how to change the default stuff into your personal likings. As you can see, I have put in annotations to all the different raid frame types that you can change, so you can just skip content that you don't have questions for, and you can get your answer right away without having to go through the whole freaking video. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we open the config window from Elvui, and it will start in general. Now, the setup of how I changed my UI to look like this, I will do in a separate guide. I am only going to talk you through the unit frames and then specifically raid frames, party frames. Okay, to change the looks on your raid frames, you just click on unit frames itself. Here you can change the status bar texture, which is set to glamour for me now. If you open up, you get the drop-down list with all the different textures in the background. It might look overwhelming. It's not. Just choose one that you think that looks sexy, and you can just click on it and then see immediately how that changed, and you just keep on choosing one until you have found one that you think suits you the best. I have it on glamour. If you are like, oh my god, I don't have those in my list, how is that possible? I have an add-on that is called Lib Shared Media 3, and that comes with extra textures and fonts. So yeah, if you're missing it, that is probably why. Now, the default font you can change here as well. Same story. You get a drop-down list and you can choose which font you want, and it's going to change for all your unit frames except for your nameplate. If you want to change the nameplates, like here, then you have to go to General and you go to Media, and here you can change the name font. Same story, here you have the drop-down list. Keep in mind that to get this active, to change it, you need to do a game restart. Just reloading your UI is not going to be enough. Here you can also change your primary texture and your secondary texture. But then again, I'll go into more details in another guide about that. Okay, unit frames again. We were default font, and then you can change the font size and the outline stuff. This is default depending on what you chose with the start of configuration of your Elvui, so don't touch it, just leave it unless you want to change it. I left it. I left it as it was. Okay, when you want to go and set up your party frames and your raid frames 25, 40 and your pet frames, I recommend that you start configuring raid 10-man frames. Why? Because the raid frames come with a default setup for debuffs and total buffs and your own raid buffs and stuff like that. So it is easier to customize it to your personal likings, and then once you are completely done with your raid 10-man frames with the width and the height, then you later on can copy those settings to your party frames and your other raid frames, and I'll show you at the end how you do that. Okay, raid 10-man frames. You start with general. Here you can enable range check or not. I do like to know if people are in my range or not. I want to have a warning, or at least see if people are out of range, so I know I can't heal them or anything else. Heal prediction I have enabled, and this is default, and the class override color I have on force off. It is on default by default, and then you have I just played the frames. Then you have the class color enabled when they are at full health. Nah, I don't like that much. I prefer to have it gray, so I have it on force off, and then it looks like this. So that is what I've changed. Here you can set the width and the height for the health bars. So it is 95 width and 37 height. And the growth direction is important for your personal likings. Do you want to have the groups horizontal, or do you want to have the groups vertical? If you want to have them horizontal, then it is right and then down. What that does, it starts from here and then grows to the right, and then it grows down. So the first group is going to be here, and then the tank first, and then grow to the right, and then it's going to be group 2 and group 3, etc., etc. If you want to have it vertical, then you do it down and then right. That means that it's, yeah, that means that it's going to grow down and then make the next group to the right. If you want to let it grow to the other side, obviously you do down and then left. But I like horizontal in this case, so I had put it on the right and then down because it takes less vertical space. I like that. I have display player on visible when true. The header includes the player when not in a raid, and that is what you see here. So I'm not in a raid group or anything, but it is still showing me there. I like it, but if you don't, then disable that. This is just default. What it does, it says that everything before hide is the macro to let the frames, to let Elvui know when to show it and when not to show it. Everything that is before hide means that if the raid, if there are 6 people in the raid, then if there are less than 6 people in the raid, hide it. If there are 11 people in the raid, then hide as well, because you only want to show this when there are 10 people in the raid. So that is how the visibility works. That was general. Let's go to health. Okay, health. Here you can set the text position, which I have in the center. It's that white text. And you can change the X offset and the Y offset. I changed the Y offset to -2 because center is a little bit more up, and then it goes behind the debuffs, and I want to see the health text at all times. Orientation, obviously you can change coloring. You can change. I recommend you not do that, because everything that you change here is going to get changed in your player frame, target of target and focus frame as well. Just don't touch it. Leave it as that. Now the text format, how does that work? It works really easy. At first you're like, oh my god, what the hell am I going to change? If you don't want health color or class color or stuff like that, don't put anything at all. And if you want to have the health shown in percentage, it says in the text format help info box. I have it on health current at the moment, and that means that when people are at full health, it shows you how much health they have in total, and as soon as they start taking damage, it shows you how much health they have left. Now, if you like, yeah, but I want to know the percentage instead of the current health, then you just put in health percent, you click on OK, and then it shows you the percentage of health that people have. Then you might want to know, yeah, but I want to know both. That's possible as well. Isn't it awesome? Then you just type in health current and percent, you click on OK, and then it shows you the current health that the player has plus the percentage after it. You can also turn this around. You can say percent current and blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want. Whatever you like. I don't like percentage. The current is enough for me. If you don't want to have it in white text, but you want to have it in the color of the percentage health they have left, then you can say health color and hit OK, and then it's going to show you the current health in the health color that they are currently having. So if they are at full health, it's going to be green, and if they are really low, it is going to be red. But I prefer white because it is nice and easy to read. Okay, that was the health. Let's move on to power. Okay, the power is obviously mana, energy, or rage from your party and raid members, and you can change the style here. I have it on filled. That means that it is a small line at the bottom of the bars. When you put it on inset, it is inside the bars, which means that you need a little bit more space. It looks nice though. And spaced looks like this at the start. Then you can see that it's only a tiny little bar. And as soon as you start to fiddle around with offset, you see that it goes behind the bars. I do have that for my player frames and my target frames because I think that it looks sexy. But it is not really handy in playstyle because the background is almost the same as the power color. So I not always see very good how much mana I have left on the bar. I prefer to look at the percentage that I have, or I just take a quick look in my raid frames. And I kept it for the looks really here, but yeah, I don't want that in the raid frames. So if you are fooling around with it and you put it back to filled, be sure that you put offset back to 0, like this. I don't have text enabled for power because it's a lot of information I don't need. The bar is enough. If you would want it though, then you can put in the text format here. So let's say you want to show the power and the color of the power that people have, then it's going to be power color. And I want to know power percent. Let's say I want to know power percent. There it says it's behind my nameplate. Now you can see why I don't have it enabled, because it's only cluttering up my health bar. But this is how it works. If you don't use power color, it will be in white. And if you want to know the current, and then you change this to current, it works the same as what I just gave an example with the health. And you click on OK. Okay, that was power. Name. Name is the same story as with health, really. You just put the text position, X offset and I offset. I had put it on -2 because otherwise it was covering the health. I don't want that, and here you can change the text format. The same way, name color means that it's going to be the color of the class that your party member is, and name short means that the name is not going to be more than 10 characters. You can change that also. You can see it in the information window, name formats. It says there, and then you can choose from there. Okay, so that's very easy. That was name. Buff indicator. Now buff indicator becomes interesting when you are healing and you want to track your own buffs on people. You click on configure on wait, hold. Here you can change the size of the icons. These are the buff indicator icons, and as you can see I have put the size on 12 and the font size is on 10. This way it was just above my health text and just fitting inside my my bars. Okay, now you want to configure those auras. It automatically takes you to filters and then to buff indicators. When you open the drop-down box for selecting spells, it automatically uploads the buffs that your character has which you are on at the moment. So for me, I'm on my Shamalama Ding Dong. I'm a resto spec, and that means that I can give people Earth Shield, Earth Living, and Riptide. Okay, now we want to configure that. Okay, as soon as you select it, you get this configuration window, and here you can enable it, choose the anchor point, X offset, Y offset, and style. Now, style, what it does, you can choose to have none, well, which makes no sense to be honest. A colored icon will mean that it's going to be an icon in the color that is selected in this little box, which you can change as well if you want it. And textured icon means that it's going to look exactly the same as the icon on your action bar. I have display text disabled, not interested in that. I do have auras from other players enabled because it is interesting for me if there are more than just me as a chamois in the group. I want to know which tank they have Earth Shield on, so I don't override his Earth Shield. And that goes the same for Riptide. So Riptide I have enabled as well. Anchor point, you set the X offset and the Y offset. X offset makes it go up and down, Y offset makes it go left and right. Same textured icon, and I also want to know if other shamans have put Riptide on people, so I don't have to put Riptide on those, and I choose someone who don't has Riptide on him yet. Now, Earth Living I have disabled because it's a proc and I can't determine myself where to go and on, so that's fine with me who has Earth Living. I'm not interested in that. Then you have this set and you go back to Raidframes. Okay, buffs. Buffs I don't have enabled. I have disabled it. I am not interested in personal buffs from other players. I only want to see what is interesting for me at a time when I'm healing in a raid. So disable it. Debuffs, however, I do want to see. So I have those enabled, and you can change here how much you want to see per row. I have it set on 3 because honestly, if people have more than 3 debuffs, you have a dispelling problem. But I can imagine if you are playing PvP that you want to know a little bit more because there's a lot more going on with a lot more debuffs. And then you probably have whitelists and blacklists as well, and dispelling priority. So that's where you can you can change here. You can say I want to have 7, but then be aware that you change the Y offset as well. Yeah, because it always starts to grow from left and then to right. I can show you there. You see, the left is set put to set to put, blah blah, and then you change it. Okay, the number of rows I have to 1, so I'm sure that is not going to grow downwards. And the X offset I have on -45 to put it nicely in within the lines of my bars. Anchor point, you can choose where you want to work from. I preferred right, and then I changed the Y offset to be upwards, so I could line it up nicely. Then the filters. I have blacklisted auras enabled. I don't have blacklisted auras at the moment, but maybe I want to in the future, and then at least it is enabled for all my raid frames, so I don't have to worry about changing that. I also have auras without duration blocked. I don't need to know if people have, I don't know, weird auras on them, not in the raid at least. Then I don't have whitelist auras enabled at the moment because I don't have auras in the whitelist. That is for debuffs, by the way. If you want to make a whitelist for your debuffs, then be sure that you are going to enable this in your raid frames. Otherwise, it will simply add auras on the whitelist in addition to any other filter settings. Yeah, that was debuffs. Okay, role icon, I have it enabled. That is this little icon here, it tells you if it's a DPS or a tank or a healer. I like to know that kind of stuff. You can change the size here, very easy. Then there's the raid leader and the main assist icons. Same story, it is behind debuffs at the moment, so you can't see it. It's a little yellow crown that lets you know who the raid leader is or if people have main assist. Okay, raid buff indicator. I do have it enabled. I don't really know why, because I don't have any raid debuffs in my whitelist. But that is what this is for. If you want to configure your auras, it's going to take you to the whitelist. You can select spells from here, and you can add it to your whitelist. But like I say, I'm not using it. So we go back to Raidframes. That was that one. The GPS arrow. Very nice, very nice. I have it in Voodoo as well. I have it enabled. I deselected mouse over because I want to know immediately when people go out of range where they are, so I know where I have to run to heal them, dispel them, or whatever you want to do with them, hug them or whatnot. I did change the size though, because I do remember that the default was pretty big, and I changed it to 30 in this case to match a little bit nicer with my bars. And then last but not least, we have the raid icon, and that shows you if people have a raid icon and which raid icon they have. Let me show you. Let me show you. He target me. I don't know why I'm in green. See? Sexy raid icon. Now it's nipple, diamond, moon, blah blah blah. Okay, you can change the size here as well, and the position and the XI offset if you don't want to have it above your bars, but into the bars, then you just change the offsets. And that is basically it for the whole configuration of one frame. So now you're done. I'll show you how the buffs look. There is my Earth Shield, and this is my Riptide, and now I can see that on other charts in my raid as well. Okay, now we move on to party frames to make those look the same. You go to copy from, you hit raid 10 frames, and now everything is copied to your party. So everything is going to look the same, it's going to behave the same. The thing that you need to be aware of is that the number of groups also get copied. So now all the groups are going to be 2. So for party frames, we're going to put that back to 1. And if you want to change the growth direction to your personal likings, you do that here as well. Oh, I forgot to do the grouping and sorting. Okay, grouping and sorting works in Elvui a little bit weird. Let me go back to raid frames again. Okay, display frames. Now, by default, it sorts by group. That means that group 1 is going to be at the top and then group 2. You can say that you want to have main tanks and main assists. First, what it does, it shows you the main tank at the top of each group. But that's it. I mean, yeah, I don't like it. So it's either it's being grouped, and you can choose raid-wide sorting, but enabling this allows raid-wide sorting. However, you will not be able to distinguish between groups anymore. So you do have the tanks and the healers nicely together, but you have no fucking clue anymore which group they are in, or you are in. So if you are in a raid and your raid leader says group 1 to the left and group 2 to the right, you have no clue what group you are in. So this is the main reason that I went back to Voodoo, and I do hope that Elvui is going to implement this in the future, and I have no doubt that they will. It is just not at the moment. Not with this version, at least this version 6.99992. And yeah, that's why. So if you want to change the sorting you do that there. Okay, we were at party frames. Disable this. Party frames. This is what the party frames look like. I copied from the 10-man raid frames. That means that the position is going to get copied as well. So do the configuration first and then start to put them in place where you want to have it. Or copy first and then put it back where you wanted it, because you can see now it went downwards, and then change it, just change it back. Okay, then we go to the 25-man raid frames. You copy from 10-man again. You're going to change the number of groups to 5 and change the growth direction if you want. And for the 40-man raid frames, you do the same. You copy from 10-man raid frames. You change the number of groups to 8. And here, though, I recommend that you use growth direction down and then right. Why? I'll show you. Okay, let's display the frames, because this is what we had, right, and then down. And obviously with 8 groups, that is going to be a long list downwards. So that is why I chose to have the 40-man raid group with vertical groups. So then it's going to be down and then right. So this means that this is group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, etc. Okay, the raid pet frames. Okay, not every healer is healing pets. I am in our raid group. I do, because it is pretty important for hunters and stuff like that. It is a big deal of their DPS. So if I can heal them, then I heal them. I did make these look different than my party frames, though. So let me display them. There they are. I do have a range check and a heal prediction on them. You can disable that because I'm not going to follow a pet around if it's not in my range, but I just have it on. You can change the width and the height here, and I have the growth direction, excuse me, I have the growth direction down and then to the right, but I only have one group maximum shown. If there are more than 5 pets, then that is tough luck. For the other pets, that's too much in my screen. I like it nice and clean. Now, the visibility, I did change though, because I want to have it visible in 5-man and 10-man party only. So I don't want it to show in 25-man frames and 40-man frames. So what I changed is to make a check for how many people there are in the raid, and as soon as there are 11 people in the raid, then it's going to be hidden. If there are not, it's going to show. That is how simple it is. So if you do want to have it in 25-man mode, but not in 10-man, you say raid 24 non-exist, then you put it on hide and otherwise show. Anyway, fiddle around with it. I have no doubt that you will be fine. So that is the raid frames for the pets. And now you have set everything, and now you can put them all into place. If this looks like, oh my god, there's so much going on, then you can do it one by one. This is the raid 10-man frames. Now I only want to do party. So this is the party frames, and you can see that it went down. So I want to do it upwards a little bit again. There. Set. And now I want to set 25-man and 40-man and so on and so on. So this makes it really easy to just position them one by one without having everything clustering in your screen. And that looks like this. But if you want to have them, to nudge them, that they are exactly on top of each other, then select all, and then you can go over them one by one. And then you hit lock. And then you hit close. And then you're done. I hope that this guide gave you some answers or made it easier for you to configure. And if you liked it, hit the like button. If you have questions that I forgot to mention in this video, put it in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, thank you for watching and I'll see you in another guide. Bye bye!